And my guest is a trained mental health therapist, also a trained life coach who knows a lot about grief, depression, trauma, addiction, and he is the founder of Real Consulting. Ladies and gentlemen, one who is no stranger to the show. His name is Toluche Francis. Good morning.
Good morning, Joe. Nice to be here.
Thank you for obliging me this morning. I hope you're fine.
I'm doing pretty well. Thank you. And you? How is it over there?
Oh, well, cold and good. We're fine here. Thank you. All right, so getting to it, we are talking about the psychology of rejection. And I do have some very interesting things that give me inspiration. One of it is Valentine's. One of the reasons I decided to talk about this is the Valentine. Of course, aside that, there are some other things I see on discussions I see on social media, interactions with people. People get turned down all the time. Rejection is part of life. People who write application, you're looking for a job, you're looking to get married to someone, you're proposing, and somebody turns down your proposal. You are looking for a business investment, somebody turns it down. So we have rejection in different forms. So why not talk about it since it's something we cannot escape? That said, is there a way to even define rejection from, say, a mental health point of view, or is just what it is, literally?
Rejection is what it is, literally. I mean, there are no two definitions to what rejection is. You're rejected for something, you're rejected by someone, you're rejected by a group or something. So I mean, rejection is basically what it is, actually. You can't change the definition. You can't change what it really is. And like you said earlier, rejection can come in from a supposed, so I use the word supposed because perhaps you're the one in love or the person is not in love with you, right? And sometimes you apply for jobs, you get rejected. You apply for admission into schools, you get rejected. I mean, rejection can come in different ways, but you see, it is just what it is. And what is rejection? Being refused what you have requested for. Basically, I mean, that's how to explain to a 5-year-old or thereabout. So you have requested for something, you have applied for something, and you are being rejected. It's just pretty that simple. I think many times the problem comes from how you feel about this thing, how you feel about the rejection itself, and then it goes ahead to make you feel terrible. Are you still there?
Yeah, I am here.
So it makes you feel terrible. It makes you feel as though the world is crashing, basically. But it is what it is.
As we say here in Nigeria, it is what it is. Well, researchers, according to studies that I came across online, it says that researchers don't
I trust you. You always bring researchers.
Because I always like to have something backing up whatever it is I'm saying or talking about. So they said that they found very interesting scientific evidence that the pain of being excluded or rejected is very similar to the pain you experience when you have physical injury. And this is as a result of running some researches, doing some studies, and having MRI scan. And it was just mind-blowing that a person who is rejected, the pain they go through is similar to the one that you get maybe when you bump your toe against the chair. You know how painful that thing can be. Or maybe when somebody punches you in the face. And I don't know how to describe it. How would you, do you first, do you agree with that?
So I remember during my undergraduate days, I presented a seminar, and the topic of that seminar was the biochemistry of pain. And in the course of my gathering data or studying, I did realize that emotional pain at the onset can be like what you just described when you dash your toe against a stone, sharp. That's what I said, at the onset. So you go to the babe and she tells you how you are not of her level.
You are gone, Tolusha. At least the video is gone. Are you there via the audio? Okay. No, you're muted now.
And she goes to tell you,
okay,
you go to toast the babe, but then she's telling you how you're not of her level because you don't have what she has and stuff like that. Trust me, that pain is going to be sharp. You're going to think that you have offended the whole world, because it's not something you're expecting, right? It's something that came all of a sudden, and which is the same to when you hit your toe against a stone. You aren't expecting it, and so that pain travels to your brain. Imagine when you shut the door of a car or of a house with your finger.
Oof,
Exactly. But emotional pain is not measurable in terms of how the person feels when.
Let's talk. Great. Oh, you're back again.
Okay, so like I was saying, apologies for that. So the sharpness of the pain.
We're off air at the moment.
Okay. Yeah. Sorry, I need to check that laptop. I don't know why I did like that. How about I don't like using?
Sorry. Don't worry, soon you'll get your Starlink and you'll get all the other things together. You and your coffee.
Right?
Very few people love their coffee the way you do.
I told someone recently that if you know me and you don't know that I like coffee, then you don't know me.
Yeah. All right, we're coming back in.
Okay.
On Smooth 98.1 every Wednesday from 5:50.
Right now, you're tuning into Soul Food here on Smooth 98.1. It's a show that airs every Saturday morning from 8 till 8:30, and we discuss your health and wellness, literally every aspect of it, because this morning we're discussing something relating to your mental health and even your physical health. It is the psychology of rejection. My name is Oluwaseun, and my guest is Tolusha Francis. He's joining me via Zoom. You can see our faces and stream live via YouTube, which is youtube.com/smooth981FM Lagos. So before that interruption, you were saying something about the sharpness of the pain of rejection.
Yes. So I was saying that, you did make reference to a study that you saw online. I was saying that, yes, I can't agree with them because in my study some years back on the biochemistry of pain, you talk about the way pain travels. It is the brain that interprets it as pain, and tells you what to do. And so it's the same thing when you get that rejection stuff, a rejection email or a rejection call and stuff like that. The pain travels straight to your brain. Your brain interprets it as pain. Your heart even aches, sometimes. And so it's at the onset, and then you begin to deal with, it's just funny because there's no physical wound to deal with. It's an emotional wound. It's something that cannot be touched, and that makes it tougher because you cannot touch this pain. Nobody can really understand how you're feeling. They can only imagine how you're feeling. So yes, I am tempted to agree that it is possible because when you hit your toe against a stone, there's a way you feel that whoosh, and you begin to try to treat the toe. You don't want to touch the toe because it will be painful. At the same time you get that rejection, you may begin to ask yourself, what did I do right? What did I do wrong? Is it my fault that I look this way? Is it my fault that I don't have this? What exactly is she looking for? What exactly is he looking for? So yeah, it's possible that you feel that way. The length it takes to heal is what nobody can really determine, as it were. For physical injuries, you can begin treatment and then you're watching it, and except you have any other health challenges, you can pretty tell that, okay, this thing should heal anytime soon. But when it comes to rejection, really cannot tell when it will heal. People say that time heals everything, but well, does time really heal everything, or is the actions that you take towards healing that really heals the rejection pain?
Very interesting. But I'm curious, do you think seeing rejection coming, do you think it lessens the pain?
It does actually. It does actually. I'll give you an example that happened to me very, very recently. So, I'd applied to a school for a PhD program, but sometimes I applied in, I think, November, and they said we're going to get a response in February. Sometime around January, I began to feel the rejection was going to come, and I began to have a different conviction. So I prepared my mind for the email. So yesterday morning, I logged into my email, and then I saw that I had it. Oh, okay. 2 days ago, today's Saturday, that was on Thursday, I got a mail from the school that is an update on my application that I should go to the portal. I didn't even go to the portal, until yesterday morning. And there it was, we are sorry to inform you. Now they used to start those letters. We regret to inform you. We are sorry to inform you, And I just smiled and I moved on. Why? Because I had prepared my mind that a rejection could come, might come, or is coming. So sometimes when when you have that feeling that a rejection is coming, it prepares you, for it. I'll share an example that my pastor shared one day. So Pastor Podge was preaching in church one, and I was talking about, I think it's America Got Talent or something. And he was furious that someone didn't get a point or something, was disqualified or something. And so he called his brother. I was like, why is this show like this? This person did well. Why is this person rejected? And his brother told him that, oh, I mean, the show is pre-recorded. What you're watching is not live. The person actually got in and won or something like that. So it was at rest, knowing fully well that I know the end from the beginning already. So yeah, sometimes knowing the end from the beginning allows you to prepare your mind, and even when it comes, you know that, well, it's all good. I mean, life moves on. So sometimes you're trying to woo a babe, and then she all of a sudden, your level of communication, your communication time is being shortened. She has not told you yes. She has not told you no. But then you begin to see some change in reaction. It's okay. Can you play your mind that, okay, maybe this babe is going to serve me a no, we cannot be together. So it does help, right? It doesn't mean that you won't feel, and I say that clearly, it doesn't mean that you won't feel that rejection pain, but it's going to be very minimized because you prepared your mind for what might come. And so you go into it, okay, que sera, sera.
In a case where you did not see the rejection coming, you were not prepared for it mentally, physically, in any form of leave, you were not prepared for it. How can you best manage it in a healthy way?
The best way to manage it is to let someone that you're close to, someone that you trust, help you share how you feel with that person. Talk to that person. Let the person understand how you're feeling at the moment. You see, you need to let it out. You see, the funny thing about rejection is that you need to let out how you're feeling. You need to vocalize how you're feeling about it. If you're able to vocalize it, write them down. Don't bottle them up, because a lot of times rejection can make you question yourself, can make you question your abilities and your capabilities. And you'll be doing yourself a great disservice and affecting yourself if you bottle all of those things up. So it's pretty important that you let them out. You let how you feel out so that you don't find yourself in a situation where you're struggling to explain who you are. You're struggling to explain what you're capable of doing. If that begins to happen, then you're in deep trouble. So try to discuss how you feel with someone. And that's always say that, look, we are social beings and would always need to have people in our corner. You can't live in isolation. You can't live in a corner, right? So you need people around that could easily share things with, who they don't have to agree with you, right? But they can understand or imagine where you're coming from, and they can understand the pain that you are feeling, all right, and be there to encourage you, to console you, And sometimes I don't want to be the one to help you find the next way. Never can tell. Anyways, that's just by the way. If it's a job, it's for you to go back and say, okay, what did I say at the interview? What exactly is it? What exactly were they looking for? What did they say in the email? And they just breathe and say, you know what? Another one will come. Don't lie down there for too long, mourning the fact that you got rejected for that job, for that role, and stuff like that. Dust yourself and say to yourself, we move.
Now, that will bring me to a question, was something that has actually been the undoing of a lot of people, and that is the need for closure. Many people seek and pursue closure relentlessly. It's almost like a fox that you're chasing and you're just unable to grab hold of the tail. So what is the place of closure in dealing with rejection in a healthy way? Do you need it, or you can move on without it?
So when it comes to closure, to be very honest, nobody owes you closure. You owe yourself the closure. And closure means different things to different people. How you attain this closure is not cast in stone. But you see, you won't sit down there looking for closure or waiting for closure. You'd have to find yourself that opportunity to actually close up. In terms of, don't close up because I'm looking for how to explain that to be understandable. So let your closure be a healing tool for yourself first. Not because you want to move on, not because you want to sweep it under the carpet. No, that you are closing up as a form of healing, in the sense that you don't have the power to change this thing that has happened to you. I mean, you don't have the power to change rejection to acceptance, but you hold the power to look at the pain from an angle and say, okay, this thing has happened to me. What have I done wrong? You do an analysis of what has happened, all right, and ensure that your person, your self-esteem is still intact. Use the lessons that you have learned from that particular experience to propel yourself going forward. Rejections can be the foundation that you need, can serve as the springboard that you need for you to go higher. For those who are conversant with high jumps, when you're running, right, you jump up and then you land on a platform. That platform bounces when you land. For those who watch Olympics, you realize that when they jump and they land with their back, and then the back, they bounce up. So you can see rejection as a pedestal, as a springboard that will catapult you to see what you couldn't see initially, right? To see what you couldn't see initially. So it's important that we understand the place of seeking help properly, that we understand the place of understanding that closure is not a function of sweeping it under the carpet, but that you are spending time to see what you did wrong, what you can do correctly next time. They are seeing if it's a function of rejection from a person that you love in terms of relationship. They can sit down to ask yourself, why did I even go for this person in the first place? What exactly was I seeing? Are my values being dropped? Are my principles being dropped? How do I see myself? And let me just be honest with you. There are times that you may not be able to handle this thing yourself. You may not be able to see things yourself. It's like when you're writing, you can read a document over and over and you wouldn't see an error. But then you give to a third party and that person sees errors. It's because in your head, because you wrote it, your brain already tells you that everything is okay and perfect. And so your eyes will not pick them. And so there might be loopholes. There might be things that you did that you didn't know you did wrongly, and your eyes or your brain wouldn't pick them. But when you sit with a professional or a friend, they may help you see, okay, so you could have done this, you could have done this. And you see, it's a conflict. It's a battle between your outward person and your inner person. Your inner person in terms of your mind, and your outward person in terms of how you are seeing that particular issue. So closure is good. Closure is important. But don't sit down looking for closure. Work towards it and move on with other things that you are doing. Otherwise, you sit down for years and all you'll be doing in the name of closure is that you are blaming people or blaming someone for what they didn't do, for how you lost something, and you would never really move on. Which is why one of the things I do in therapy when people come and they have been hurt is I ask them, create an imaginary mirror between you and this person. Imagine that person seated at the other side of the mirror and voice out everything that you think you would want to say when you find that person. Say it. This person is not, you can't touch this person. If you feel like punching the person, punch the imaginary mirror. Does that make you feel okay? Good. Because in forgiving people, you're not forgiving because they deserve it. You are forgiving because you need to heal to move on. You need that closure. That's a form of closure to move on and not the person. But don't wait for that person to come apologize. Don't wait for that person to say, I want to make amends. You have to say, you know what? I forgive and I let this person go because I have to heal. Otherwise, what you'll be doing is that you're carrying firewood on your head while that person is just sipping tea and laughing and playing. But here you are carrying a lot of luggages and baggages on your head.
It's even worse when you're carrying the firewood on your head and you expect the person to feel the neck pain or the ache that comes with it. That is,
do you get?
That is worse. And yeah, it can really hurt, especially when you're waiting for an apology that will never come. When the person does not even see anything wrong in what they have done to you. That is twisted. You're listening to Soul Food here on Smooth 98.1. We take a last break, and when we come back, we'll wrap this up. You can join the conversation by sending your WhatsApp messages to 0809-444-0981.
A day is to remember in the history of life. We are smooth.
We are smooth.
We are smooth.
98.1.
Uh-oh. Sorry, it's gone.
98.1. It just.
All right, we'll come back. Smooth 98.1, love music and love life. We are gradually wrapping this up now. And if you want to be a part of it, 0809-444-0981 is the number to dial. And you can send your WhatsApp messages to 0809-444-0981. My name is Oluwaseun Olusegun, and my guest this morning is Tolushe Francis. You can join us on YouTube, or if you're just joining us, you can go back to the video later on. We will save it for you. We have been talking about the psychology of rejection, and we hope that you have been able to pick at least one thing that will help you going forward to do better. Is there anything, Tolushe, about how to reject a person in a healthy way or reject a thing in a healthy way?
So it's a function of the words that you use, actually. How you say the things you say go a long way. I mean, it's the way, it's like when they say that you can tell someone to go to hell and the person will look forward to going to hell. I haven't been to hell. I don't know what hell looks like. I've only been told what it possibly looks like. But it's often said I can tell someone to go to hell and the person will look forward to going to hell because of how it is said. So you don't want someone. You don't have to say, you know, you're not my type. We can't be together. There is nothing that you have to offer me. This thing cannot work, so just go look for your level. I mean, come on. You know.
Well, okay.
But you see, we live in a world where we keep saying my truth, you know, my truth, my reality. I'm very honest, I'm very blunt. No, come on. What you would not want to be said to you in a way that is said to you, don't say it to another person. So you can say something like, I do appreciate your interest in me. I do appreciate the fact that you think we can have stuff together. I just don't think that we have that thing together. I don't think that we share the same thoughts. I don't mind us, you know, to keep this conversation going, but in light of a romantic relationship, I don't think I am at that stage, and I wouldn't want to. I'm coming there. I know you're going to say that, and I wouldn't want to waste your time by giving you hope. There is no room here. Now, if it's someone that you don't want, that you don't think you can be friends anymore, then raise that part. Hi, Charles. So I mean, I thought about what you said, and I'm really, really elated or flabbergasted that you consider me to be your boyfriend, your girlfriend, whichever one it is. But I don't think I share the same thoughts or the same feelings towards that, and I wouldn't want to waste your time. So I'm just going to let you know that there is really no room here. I'm sorry if this is not the response you're expecting, but I just want to know that I care about how you feel. I just don't want to start something that is not true and is not real. I hope you find true love, and I hope you find someone who really feels the same way as you feel towards them. To have a nice day and a great year ahead. Simple.
How many people have you rejected, Tolushe? Because the way those words roll off your tongue, it's like you are so skilled in the business of rejection and rejecting people. That is a lot of email language.
Well, I mean, it's not a function of how many people are rejected. It's a function of, it's an emotional intelligence thing. So reject with empathy. Don't reject with hatred. Because you see, it's not easy to fall in love with. And I tell people that it's not easy to ask a lady out. If you go on the streets and you do a vox pop and you ask ladies to toast a guy, to woo a guy, see how easy it is. I was watching something on Instagram and they were telling people to tell their lovers sweet things about them. Or was it their lovers? I can't remember, but you could see how people were struggling. See, sometimes a lot of rehearsals go into the way a guy approaches you to tell you what he feels and how he feels about you. And so the best you can do, or the least you could do rather, if you're not going to accept that person, is to make the person understand that you don't hate them. There is nothing wrong with them. You're just not in that same space with them. Even if you are not feeling them, even if to you the person is ugly, even if to you the person is not a living standard, you don't need to tell the person. Because out there, there's a likelihood that your heart is also doing bish for another guy who doesn't even send you. And you're hoping that someday the guy will come to you. And you're another guy standard too. Maybe that's why he hasn't come.
Wow, you didn't have to go there.
Well, I have to. Because you see, to be very honest, we live in a world where everybody's always saying women are the prize, men are the prize, blah, 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 and all that. Everybody is the prize. Now, personally, first which market, now it's everything go price, and I go take price down.
We are out of time. On WhatsApp, Obasa Singh says, I beg, can Tolusha repeat the lines again? I was taking notes and I missed the last parts. You want a template for rejection. Wow. I didn't see that coming. But quickly, in 1 minute, what are the possible complications of rejection if it is not handled well? What are the things it can result to? Quickly now.
Sadness, isolation, a depreciation of a person's self-esteem. And the moment these three things begin to set out, you just need to be very careful not to find yourself going into a state of depression. And so, which is why I said, if something happens, you have to get someone that you can talk to about how you're feeling and consistently start doing that. Otherwise, you just might find yourself going into a state of sadness that can become a long-term one. And then all of a sudden, you find yourself being unhappy about everything. Some people end up creating an idea about the other gender just because of how things were said to them, and they could become chauvinist. So it's very important that you watch your thought pattern, watch how you see yourself, and pay close attention to so it doesn't become something that leads you on the path to a mental health crisis.
Thank you so much. I wish we had more time, but it looks like the time is never enough for topics like this. Hopefully another time we're able to catch up on something similar that affect our everyday life and how to handle it. In the meantime, you can find Tolushe on social media at Tolushe Francis on Instagram. He's the mentalist on Twitter. I got that right, yeah?
So I'm Tolushe Francis across all social media platforms, Twitter, Instagram, YouTube, LinkedIn. I'm Tolushe Francis.
All right, TOLUSEFRANCIS, Tolushe Francis, across all social media platforms. You can send a request to him. Hopefully he does not reject you. Thank you.